be taking notes as we go through. So we're not catching up on email or on Facebook or anything like that. We're just taking some notes so that you'll get that feedback later.
Sure.
Okay? Want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Tell us what you were doing before Year Up, how you heard about the program, and why you decided to join.
So before Year Up, I was an automotive technician for Mercedes-Benz San Francisco. What I did, I was taking apart cars, engines, diagnosing electrical problems. It was a lot of troubleshooting in a fast-paced environment where I had to work. It was more of an introvert where I worked by myself a lot, but where I also had to work in a team-based environment where I talked to my coworkers in case I needed any help or advice, talked to my foremen and service advisors to keep up to date because these cars had to go in a certain order. And working there for a few years, I realized that I wasn't getting paid my worth, so I decided to leave. Once I decided to leave, my manager offered me a raise because I was a really hardworking person, but it doesn't really take me to quit to get a raise, so I didn't take the offer. And when I was working there, one of my good friends of mine, he went through the Euro program. He's currently on Facebook. Right now, he's my roommate, and I was supposed to come through the program about 3 years ago, but at the time I wasn't financially stable, so I saved enough money where I could support myself and come to school full time.
Great. Why do you want to work in the field of technology?
Why I want to work in the field of technology? Most of my life, I was growing up working in automotive. Once I got to Mercedes-Benz, it's a lot of technology. We have this one feature where it's called blue screen, where let's say the driver is looking at the screen where it has the GPS, and the passenger is looking at the same screen and they're watching a movie. And stuff like that amazed me, where, wow, like we're coming up with all these great features. But at the same time, I wanted to work on computers more, like work on how those computers are made, rather than working on the cars where I get beat up. Most of the days I'll come up with like cut up skin or almost lost my eye one time. I still have a scar right here. And that's what made me realize I need to get out of the field and go into a more technology field where I get to work on computer-based rather than cars. So I have quite a few years working in technology.
Great. Thank you. What was your biggest challenge or growth area during L&D? What did you do to overcome this challenge?
My biggest challenge or growth area during L&D would be taking too many tasks at once. I wouldn't manage myself. My time management wasn't really good, where I'll leave my deliverables for last, and last minute I'll be stressing myself out and I'll be burnt out by the next day. So over time I worked on that and I'm progressing, so hopefully by the time I get into the field I'll have my time management worked on where I'm proficient at it, and it helps me in the workplace where you become more efficient.
So you were asked to pick one of the internship descriptions. Which one did you pick?
I picked the cybersecurity role, which I'm currently in right now.
Okay.
The reason why, I'm a hands-on person. I love working with my hands. I love being able to make something and something happens. For example, when it comes to coding, or right now we're learning about Kali Linux. We haven't really got into depth of it. There's tools where you learn how to not necessarily hack, but how the hacking works and how they do it. And it amazes me how all these tools you can use and you can make so much out of it. I'm not a project management person because I prefer not to use Excel. It's something I'd rather not do in my career. So that's the reason why I went to cybersecurity role. So I've worked with automotive most of my life, where I got to work with my hands and troubleshoot. One thing I also love to do is troubleshoot problems. I really love puzzles. Is like one thing I do because it challenges my mind, and it also challenging my mind helps me out with other technical skills also.
What specific skills make you a strong candidate for this role?
what specific skills would be, well, one I already mentioned was my troubleshooting skills, which I gained through my experience in automotive. Be able to work in a team-based environment, fast-paced environment, be able to reach my deadlines, and also, most of all, be reliable, where my manager tells me, hey, I need this job done in so much. If most of the time I'll get that job done, but if it comes to a situation where I get stuck, I'll let my manager inform him ahead of time, be like, you know what, I'm on this, and that, but I need more time. So he gets notified where I'm at, and it won't be last minute. It's like, hey, Carl, do you have the job done? And I'm like, I don't know. So that's what I've learned through my experience. So it's one of my skill sets at this moment.
What makes you stand out among your peers in the workplace?
What makes me stand out among my peers would be my past experience, troubleshooting problems. I've noticed that in my class, I wouldn't say the most advanced, but top there, where people people ask me for help, and that really boosts up my confidence to know that I am ready for any task that I could take on, and also be able to work in a good team-based environment.
Nice. What will you do in your first week at internship to ensure that you're off to a good start?
Good question. First thing I'll do is try to network with most of the people I can, because most of the time their first week is really slow. So during that time period, I'm going to try to talk to most of my coworkers and build a character in that field. Be like, all right, this guy's a really good person, this guy's a fun person to be around with. Because if you're shy or something, they're not going to really talk to you, and there's going to be times where you're going to need help. So if you're able to network with a lot of people and make a good relationship with them, in future time where you do get those really hard works, that's when you'll be able to go to them and ask them for help. So that's one thing I'll be able to do, and also build a really good relationship with my manager. Talk to him, ask him how his day is going, and also how the work culture is going to be there. Am I going to be in a fast-paced environment? Build that mindset so I'm ready to go.
Great. Can you give us an example of a time that you did more than what was required in your job?
So when I was going to school for automotive, I went to this program called UTI, Universal Technical Institute for Automotive Technology. I took 2 extra classes, which was ahead of the base program, which was the Ford Advanced Program and the Mercedes-Benz Advanced Program. To get into the Mercedes-Benz Advanced Program, I had to go to several interviews, take multiple tests, and I got accepted also because I had a 4.8 GPA. You had to have a 3.0 or above to get into the program. So what UTI is, it's a vocational school where they promise you a job. So most of the students, they just lay back and wait for the school to call them, hey, we have a job interview for you. I didn't wait. I was waiting. At the time, I was 19, no job experience, so it was going to be tough for me. So what I did, I drove. The school is located in Rancho Cucamonga. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that city. The day I graduated, the day after I graduated, I drove from San Diego. Applied at all the dealerships because one of my dreams is to live in San Diego. I really love San Diego. Applied at many dealerships there, and I drove all the way to Sacramento. My mom lives in Bakersfield, so I stopped by there, took a nap, and then she made me breakfast, and I just took off from there. And I stopped by in the Bay Area because I have an auntie out here, so I stayed over there and I rested. And then in the morning, I went to Sacramento, and every single dealership I saw, I stopped by, I talked to the service managers, and applied myself, be like, hey, my name is Carlos Mandel, I just came out of school, I have no job experience, and I'm only 19, so they saw the baby face I had compared to all other technicians, because there's a really big gap between me and the other techs. They're like already in their mid-age, so they all told me, like, if we hire you, we're taking a risk on you. because one, you have no job experience. 2 years straight out of school, you're fresh. And three, working for Mercedes-Benz is not like any other company. You're working with $80,000 cars. And if you break a part, it usually takes about 2 weeks to get it from Germany. So it's really, you have to pay really clear attention to closer details. But anyways, back to my story. After I came back, at first I was kind of disappointed because nobody was calling me back. But my mom told me to just keep hope. And I remember the next day, I was kind of depressed, and when my mom was like, let's go out to eat, maybe you'll feel better. As we were driving there, my phone was blowing up with service managers calling me. It's like, hey, we want you for a job interview, and others were offering you jobs. And I got a job offer from Pleasanton, Palo Alto, and San Francisco. And I took the one in San Francisco, and I felt pretty proud of myself because I went above and beyond than what I was expected to do to get a job. And I was pretty proud of that. To this day, I still have the stack of cards to remind myself what I had to do to get to that position.
Great. So I want to present a scenario to you. I want you to imagine that you're at internship and your manager works on the East Coast. So they are located in New York, but manage you remotely. And you found that this manager is always very busy and difficult to reach. They're not on email, they're not on Instant Messenger. You have significant downtime at your internship, and you're not sure what you should be doing. Walk us through what you would do to deal with this situation.
I've experienced this multiple times in my past work where my boss is really busy, I have downtime. So what I would do is organize my stuff. I have downtime, and most of the day when you have a busy day, your stuff is all disorganized. Organize my stuff, organize my folders. So when the next day comes, I'm ready to be prepared, and I still have downtime. Try to network with more people or ask people, hey, do you guys need help with something? Because when you ask them for help, then you scratch their back, they're going to scratch my back eventually. So that's what I usually do on my downtime.
What strategies would you use for reaching out to your manager and communicating with them if they are very difficult to reach?
They're remote, right? Never really experienced that. But try to reach out to them the most I can. And if I do, try to talk to them and be like, during this situation, what should I do to get a hold of contact of you? And I'm pretty sure he'll tell me a way we could work something out. And also he'll ask me, all right, if I'm not here or something, ask this certain person for help. So that's one experience I've done with. Most of my managers will tell me to talk to somebody else who's really vast experience in that field and who does not have that much responsibilities compared to a manager. So that's most of the time what they'll tell me to do.
Great.
Great. What's our time?
Let's do one more question and then the tech demo.
Okay, great. Can you describe a conflict situation you've experienced in the workplace and how you handled it?
So when I was working for Mercedes-Benz, I had this issue where I was in the lunchroom, and I had this service advisor who was not really that nice. We always had conflicts, but being the bigger person, I would avoid them and just say nothing. So they came to a situation where I was on my phone, and the news was on. He was the only person watching it, and there was only like 5 people in the room. So I guess there was a video where the sirens go off, and he goes, hey, can you turn that, like, he cussed me out. And I look at him, and I'm like, and I turn back, I'm like, really, you're going to talk to me like that? At least say it in a polite way so I could turn it off. So I went back to what I was doing, and he was like, I'm serious. So he grabs my phone and threatens to break my phone in front of a lot of people. I stayed quiet during the whole situation because I didn't want to aggravate it. And all he did was just place it on the table. First thing I do, go to HR. Be like, you know what, it's been happening so many times, and this is the end of it. What I want to do, I told my HR representative that I want to set a meeting with him and another HR manager and talk. So what we did, I sent him to a meeting, and we both talked face to face and be like, you know what, I'm a human being. We're both in a professional work environment. You cannot be talking to me like that. And the manager was on my side, and after that, he never really gave me any problems. and this other manager was also giving a bunch of problems, and it got to the point where he got fired because it was just not me. He was like harassing a lot of people. But I never cussed him back off. I never aggravated the situation. I stayed my cool and let HR do their job.
Great. That's a great example. All right, so I'm going to stop the video now.